Hello, I am Tanya Rai, and if you haven't watched any previous Rise in Conversation with webinars before, then I shall tell you that I am a former mentee of the award-winning mentoring program delivered by Rise, and I'm also a member of their advisory board. Today, I am speaking to Sophia Hazari, who works as a transmission lead at Discovery. Starting as a transmission operator for fully automated channels, she quickly moved onto the buzz of live sports television for Eurosport and Nordic entertainment channels. A promotion last year means she is now responsible for maintaining the scheduled playout of these channels in the London Technology Hub, as well as the execution of live sports events. Sophia was also nominated as a Rising Star as part of the Rise 2020 Awards, and she herself is a mentor. She is enjoying her first step into leadership and hopes that the experience of being a Rise 2020 mentee will help her to continue to progress into her career. Sophia, thank you very much for joining me. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And thanks for having me on the series.
Well, we're very pleased that you agreed to join us. So one of the reasons we asked you on here, Sophia, is because we want to encourage more young women to take up careers in broadcast technology. So it would be great if you would be willing to start off to telling us a little bit about how you ended up working at Discovery and the circumstances that led you to becoming a transmission lead.
Yeah, so for me, it started at university. I studied biology, but I quickly got involved in two student-run services or societies. The first one was a live events company, and I spent a few years learning all the behind-the-scenes knowledge to set up and operate lighting, sound, and audio-visual equipment. And the other one was the student TV station at the university. I ran the station for a year, but what I really enjoyed the most were the live broadcasts. So the prepping beforehand, setting up and getting everything working on time, streaming it. It was exciting and it was live. And when things went wrong, you had to have solutions in place in your mind and have to troubleshoot to fix it. So I really enjoyed that and knew that I wanted to work in live TV. So I got work experience where I could. I did a bit of runner work on some TV shows, worked on some outside broadcasts, volunteered at the Edinburgh TV Festival. And these were all live environments that confirmed what I wanted to be doing. And on a work experience placement at Sky in their broadcast operations part of the business, I spent half a day in transmission. And I watched and I thought, they watch TV for their shift. When things go wrong, they jump into action and they fix it. So that's what I want to do. So I got a job at Discovery as a transmission operator on their automated channels. So these are channels like Discovery Channel, TLC, and Quest. And my role was to monitor all elements of the output to make sure that they were going to air correctly. I did that for about 7 months, but I still wanted to work in live TV. So I moved to the Eurosport channels. And here we broadcast live sports like tennis, cycling, golf, winter sports on sports channels across the Nordic countries and in the UK. And this is a lot more interesting because when a channel is live, you take control of that channel. And you'll take the channel from a live feed into a commercial break. You might edit that commercial break and put it back on the live feed. Once the live is over, we have to edit the schedule, depending on if it's overrun or underrun. And there might be issues that occur during a live. So you've got to be on the ball, ready to troubleshoot and respond as quickly as you can. So I was a live operator for nearly 2 years, I think. And then last February, I was promoted to a lead operator, which is what I've been doing since.
Well, congratulations on that promotion. Hope you've been enjoying it. I mean, you've alluded to what's involved in the previous role as the operator, but could you give us a bit more detail as to what is a typical working day for you now as a lead, as the transmission lead even?
Yeah, so the transmission lead sits between the operators and the supervisors. And I lead my team of 8 operators, and that involves training them, developing their skills and knowledge in the department, keeping them up to date with changes that go on. And generally I'm across all channels and all of the lives during my shift so that I can help operators respond to outages, and make decisions at short notice when it's needed. As well as those day-to-day live activities, I'll also be involved in investigating outages that we have to find the root causes of them and adapting our workflows to try and minimize those happening again. I could be testing software updates, previewing new graphics, or updating our documents. So there's quite a lot going on there. And of course, I still get to do lives and keep my skills up. And I think I enjoy tennis and British Superbikes the most because they are quick paced, full of action, and that sort of really excites me still.
It does sound really exciting, and what a cool job to have, to be watching telly, basically. I mean, obviously there is more to it than that you've explained, but you know, it is it's a pretty cool thing that you would identify to want to do, for sure. When we last spoke, you told me that you were working in a new short-term role around project reporting. So could you tell us a little bit more about that and the circumstances that led you into doing that role as well?
Yeah. At the start of the year, I was offered the chance to come out of transmission for a few months and take on a more corporate, less operational project. And part of it is looking at how issues are logged across 2 of our broadcast facilities, doing a bit of analysis on that data and presenting the trends and notable points in a report for managers to read. It's a lot more corporate than I'm used to, given my previous part of my career has been entirely operational. But I'm developing lots of skills like data analysis and learning how to present data in a way that tells senior leaders what they need to know quickly. And the other part of this project is working with teams in different markets to identify and resolve some problems in workflow. And this is where my in-depth knowledge of how operations work at Discovery in London comes in really handy, because I can apply that to other markets and help my understanding of how they work, especially as I can't go over there and see it for myself at the moment. It's a great opportunity to increase my knowledge of the business. I've been talking to people from different areas of the business and building relationships across Europe, which is really cool. So the work, I think, is quite exciting anyway, because it's new for me and I'm learning new things, but it's also been a big change personally. For my career so far, I've always worked 12-hour shifts, which includes nights, weekends and holidays. Wow. And now I'm on the plain old 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. So it's quite a big change, but there have been a few benefits, so I'm enjoying it.
That sounds brilliant. And you know, the whole kind of transition from operational to a more corporate role, it's something that's going to stand you in good stead, I think, in terms of progressing into further leadership roles throughout your career. So I think it's a good move and a fantastic opportunity to have been given as well. So well done you.
Thank you.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the RISE mentoring program, because we're both alumni now of the RISE mentoring program, because you've just completed the 2020 program and I was in the previous year, the 2019 cohort. So I'd like to be able to talk about what it was like for you on that mentoring program and what was the most valuable part of it for you.
Okay. So I knew about RISE about a year before I applied. So I was part of the 2020 cohort, like you said. And I've always been quite interested in my own development. So I'd attended a few of their sessions. And actually, I thought it was quite brilliant that there were people working to even out the gender inequality in our industry. And the mentoring scheme really appealed to me because I wanted to surround myself with people who were also interested in bettering themselves and improving their careers. And I thought it would be a great opportunity to meet other women in the industry, support them and be supported by them, especially as that was something I felt that I lacked when I first started in the industry, although that is a lot better now in my department. I also wanted the opportunity to be mentored by somebody who was much further along in their career that I could learn from. And and also be accountable to, because although I was doing quite a lot for myself, I felt like if I had somebody, you know, who I was talking to regularly, and I would say, okay, but the next time we meet, I will have done this. That's like a bit of extra accountability to make sure I do it. So the mentoring scheme turned into a 9-month experience, and it was meant to be 6 months and became 9 months. And it was online for the first time. And I got so much more out of it than I was expecting to. You know, it's really helped. And I genuinely think that 2020 has been my biggest year of career development. I got to learn about lots of different roles in the industry, from not just in operations, but in marketing and sales as well, because the mentees give presentations to each other throughout the program. And I learned a lot from them and about them as well. I spoke to my mentor about every 3 weeks, I think. My mentor, Alison Kuchar, was excellent. I learned so much from her, and we covered such a wide range of topics that not only broadened my mind, but also challenged what I did at work and how I behaved, how I went about my daily activities. And then I also think, and I believe this may actually be one of the most valuable parts of the program, is the WhatsApp group that the mentees have. And you'll know how useful that's been. It's such a motivating and encouraging place for the mentees to talk to each other throughout the program. And even better, it's still going now. You know, my program finished a few weeks ago, and we're still using the mentee WhatsApp chat, still asking each other questions, giving each other advice or motivation. And it's just such a lovely community to be part of.
Yeah, I second that for sure. And, you know, it's been well over a year since I finished the program, and we're still in touch. That WhatsApp group still exists, and I was using it yesterday actually, because it's not just a forum to share your thoughts and feelings or ask questions career-wise. It's, you know, generally speaking, if you've got something at work that you need assistance with, and you're thinking, oh well, maybe somebody from the you know, the WhatsApp group will know, and you just whack in a question and somebody will answer it and give you food for thought in a way that you would never have otherwise considered. So I think it's, yeah, I would agree, a fantastic and valuable resource. Mm. So let's talk about why you think mentoring is so important. I mean, I know that you have alluded to it in the last question, but could you expand a little bit more on why you think it's important for you?
Yeah, so I'll start with the example of my first mentoring experience, which was at Discovery, and they've got some great learning and development opportunities. And through their mentoring program, I was assigned a mentor in 2019 for about 6 months. And it was thrilling to work with someone who was ambitious and interested in career. And her input and her advice helped me to ask for and achieve a pay rise for my department, which was incredible. And also gave me confidence to apply for other opportunities as well. I do think it's worth noting that not all mentors come from structured programs like the one we've been on and the one Discovery have. Sometimes people in your life become mentors, and even on reflection, actually, I would say that a supervisor from my first job was a mentor to me in the first couple of years of my career. I just didn't realize it or call it that at the time. And I think mentoring is beneficial at every stage of someone's career. In terms of, you know, you've got somebody to talk to and learn from, and, you know, they'll even learn from you. They can provide advice. They've been in some of the situations that you've been in. Mentors can introduce their mentee to some people in their network. But even just they can help boost your confidence as a mentee, allowing you to go and apply for other opportunities, or do something that you wouldn't necessarily have done on your own, but you've got the backing of someone who you know is interested in your career and wants you to do well and go further. And I've got so much from mentoring that I'm really pleased to be giving back by mentoring a college student for the first time. And you mentioned that right at the beginning. So this is with RISE, and RISE have partnered with the University Technical Colleges, which are schools with a focus on science, technology, engineering, and maths. And I'm really looking forward to getting to know my mentee better, learning what she's interested in. She wants a career in media, so learning about what she's interested in, what her experiences have been, and seeing if I can help her. And I think it's a real testament to the RISE mentoring program that we've been on, and Carrie Wotton's hard work, that there are a number of former RISE mentees who are now becoming mentors for the first time with this program. And I think that's a really good opportunity for us to give back, given that we've benefited so much from mentors in our lives.
Absolutely, yes. And I think, as you've already said, you will be able to apply what you've learnt yourself on the RISE mentoring scheme, and be able to use that and use those skills and everything that you've learnt from your own mentor as well, in terms of, well, how would she have handled this situation? And, you know, I'll be able to kind of do the same as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
it's a really lovely thing. It's a really lovely thing. Right. So next up, I wanted to talk about the RISE 2020 awards, because you were nominated as a rising star. So how did that come about?
So that was a real surprise to be nominated and shortlisted for the Rising Star Award, and this was near the end of last year. So I learned that my manager and director collaborated to nominate me. And finding that out was validation that I was doing the right thing at work, doing the right thing for my career, and getting noticed for the right reasons as well. And I have to say that I'm really proud that my work and my ambition is being recognised, both with this award shortlist and with the project that I'm working on now. And both of these, my director, Alex Pasfield, has led. So I'm really grateful for that.
And what a brilliant thing to have on your CV as well now, to have had that nomination. So yeah, kudos to you. And what are your hopes for your future in terms of your career then? What do you see coming your way?
Well, the longer I spend in this industry and the more people I talk to, the more opportunities there are out there. And with technology developing so quickly and priorities changing, I don't want to pigeon myself into a certain role or even part of the industry. But I've really enjoyed leading my team in the last year, passing on my knowledge and supporting their development. And I also enjoy making a difference to where I work. So before, that has been in transmission, improving things there where I can. And now it's on a much bigger scale with the project that I'm working on that involves markets across Europe. So generally, I would say that I want to keep learning and growing and keep moving up, really. I think I'm quite open to a lot of opportunities, but those are the things that I've really enjoyed doing the most.
It sounds like you're on your way as well, though. It does sound like you're on your way. And exciting times to come for you, I'm sure. In the spirit of encouraging young women to take up a career in broadcast technology, could you now give us your top 3 reasons why they should?
Okay. So broadcast technology is an exciting field to be in. Technology is developing, and there's plenty to learn. And I always feel like I'm sort of at the forefront of the industry in a way, working with technology. Secondly, I think you don't need to have studied a related degree at university, and you don't need to have studied a degree at all, actually. I studied biology, but I didn't get my job because of my degree. I got it because of the experiences that I had in my extracurricular activities. And I think any experience that helps develop skills like creativity for problem solving or critical thinking, calm decision making, are useful experiences. And you don't need a degree to develop those skills. Lastly, I would say there are many more roles in the broadcast industry than you think. And I've just said that, you know, even though I've been here for a few years, I'm still finding more roles that I didn't know about. And you don't need to be a computer whiz or a techie person to do that. That's quite a bit of a common misconception. You know, if you've got creativity, that's a valuable skill, as are the ones I've mentioned before, and enthusiasm to keep on learning. I think that's something that's quite important. And also, once you get in the industry, it's easy to see what else is around and move around in the industry as well. And there are so many more reasons to be part of the broadcast technology industry.
I think you make a really valid point there about the, you know, the maybe it's not so much pressure, but there is that kind of viewpoint of obtaining a degree and the importance that's placed upon having a university degree. And whilst I do think it's a valuable thing to have, a valuable piece of education to have, there are other routes and there are various other apprenticeship schemes that many of the broadcasters are doing, where you can go in and learn on the job and actually still obtain a qualification at the end of it. There's that as well, or going in as a trainee. So yeah, I do think that that's a valid point. So let's say that after hearing your top 3 tips that you've just given now, and there are, you know, a young woman is now sitting out there thinking, wow, I've never considered this as a career option. I wonder how I can do this. What would be one key bit of advice that you'd give them?
Be curious. I genuinely think that being curious and asking lots of questions and exploring opportunities is a large part of why my early career has been successful. I do realise that isn't a very practical suggestion though. So I'm going to say gain experience where you can. You know, I've already spoken a little bit about the experience that I got, but there's shadowing, runner work experience. You've just mentioned, Tanya, things like internships, trainee schemes and apprenticeships. You know, all of these count, but I do recognise that some of them are harder to get now with the restrictions that we have. So perhaps think about experience that you could gain using what you have at home or school or university. You know, perhaps there's a theatre you could get involved with behind the scenes, or a band, you know, and doing anything behind the scenes gives you valuable technical experience. I would also consider reaching out to people on LinkedIn who are perhaps a few years into their career doing something that you're interested in, and asking them about their experiences, as this can give you an insight into their role or their company. And again, like I said before, kind of give you an idea if it's something that you do want to do or don't want to do, which is also important.
I think that's brilliant advice. And yeah, a combination of all of those will make a massive difference. And what I wanted to say about the LinkedIn point that you've made is for young women to not feel that they can't do that. It's a daunting to kind of reach out to people and think, oh my God, what are they going to think? Will they ignore me? Will, you know, or, you know, are they going to think that I'm a pest or what have you? And that's not the case, because many people in this industry really do want to champion young people to take up careers in broadcast technology in particular, because there is a skill shortage. Well, not skill shortage as such, but we can foresee that we're not going to have enough people in the future working in these roles, and we desperately need them. So be bold, be brave, and you know, these the people that you do approach are more than likely going to respond back to you, because they're really willing to help. They're really willing to help.
Yeah, especially if they're doing things like this, or if they're already speaking on panels that are aimed at students or young people. You know, they already have that interest in helping young people get into the industry. And when they say that, yeah, feel free to email me or contact me on LinkedIn, they really do mean it. So many people, and I did this when I was a student as well, you know, you'd think, oh no, they must be too busy, too important to reply to me. But if they're already working on initiatives to get young people into the industry, then they really do want to hear from you, and they'll be happy to answer your questions.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you very much for your time, Sophia. It's been lovely talking to you, and we really appreciate your willingness to share your experiences. And hopefully there's a young woman sitting out there thinking, right, I'm going to do something about what I want to do as a career as a result of watching this. So thank you.
Oh, that would be wonderful if that was the case. And do get in touch with me on LinkedIn. Thanks for having me, Tanya.
Thank you.